Today, we're diving into a really fascinating operational playbook. It's called the X-Bucket strategy, and it's a super clever system for mastering the month by hitting your most critical tasks head-on right from the start.
I mean, it's a challenge everyone faces, right? It doesn't matter if you're a small startup or a giant company. When the clock's ticking, you've got to be efficient. So let's take a look at how one team that's really got its act together structures their whole approach for maximum impact. All right, let's get into it. We're going to pull apart the official playbook from a collections call center. Seriously, they've figured out this brilliant way to divide and conquer their month, and it all revolves around one single high-stakes target.
So, to really get why the solution is so smart, you first have to understand the problem. In the world of collections, those first few days of the month are absolutely make or break.
And this right here is the heart of the whole strategy, the X bucket. It's not just some to-do list, it's the red zone. These are the highest priority accounts, the ones that need attention right now. Everything else is built around clearing this bucket first.
So, the goal here wasn't just, make more calls. No way. This was about a complete system overhaul. They wanted to get their teams aligned, standardize exactly how the work gets done, and make sure everybody, from the folks in the call center to the agents in the field, was perfectly in sync.
And this is where the genius of the playbook really comes out. They didn't just decide to work harder. They worked smarter. They split the entire month into two totally distinct phases. And the pivot point? The 10th of the month. Now, why the 10th? Well, it creates a ton of urgency and gives them just enough time to make a real dent, but it's not so late that the month is already getting away from them. It's a perfect balance.
Okay, check this out. This is where it gets really clever. For those first critical 10 days, they run split shifts. The whole idea is to have maximum coverage, from the crack of dawn into the evening. Why? Because it dramatically boosts the chances of actually connecting with customers when they're available. Then, after the 10th, once that initial pressure is off, the whole team switches to a standard unified shift. That lets them focus more on collaboration and follow-up.
And you can see how their entire mission just pivots. Until that 10th day, it is all hands on deck for one thing and one thing only, clearing that X bucket. It's a laser focus. But after the 10th, the priorities get broader. They keep working on any leftover X bucket cases, sure, but they also start tackling all the other accounts. Things like your standard overdue payments or loans that have finished their term but still have a balance.
This is honestly the perfect way to think about it. The strategy crams all the most urgent work into this intense, focused sprint. Once that initial fire is put out, the team can then switch gears into a steady, sustainable pace, the marathon, to handle everything else for the rest of the month.
So, that's the big picture strategy. But what does this actually look like on, say, a Tuesday morning? Let's zoom in on the specific playbook that teams are following every single day.
The day-to-day execution is incredibly structured. As you can see, it actually kicks off with proactive reminder calls before a payment is even late. Then comes a really disciplined series of follow-ups. But the process also has built-in steps for handling disputes, for flagging the riskiest cases, and, this is crucial, for coordinating everything with the teams out in the field. Any good plan has to account for when things get complicated, and this one has clear, standard procedures for everything, from identifying high-risk automated payments, what they call notch cases, to really sensitive situations like handling a death case, which requires precise documentation to stay compliant.
And this really brings home that all-important pivot after day 10. While the X bucket gets that initial, intense focus, this parallel process for all the other accounts kicks in to make sure nothing gets ignored. It's all about preventing new problems from piling up while you're busy solving the most urgent ones.
Now, in today's world, a strategy like this isn't just about how your team works. It's also about making it way easier for your customers to do what you need them to do. And that's where digital tools become an absolutely critical piece of the playbook.
This part is all about empowerment. The teams don't just sit back and wait for payments. They're out there actively promoting digital options and even educating customers on how to use them. And for people who can't pay online, they give them clear, simple guidance on what to do. The goal is simple: make paying as easy and frictionless as possible.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this sounds like a lot of structure, a lot of meticulous planning. What's the bottom line? Why does this matter so much in the real world?
Well, the results are very real. You get way better recovery on those super-critical early month accounts. You see fewer failed payments and delays thanks to that big push for digital. And that tight coordination between the call center and field teams means way less wasted effort. It all adds up to a huge jump in overall efficiency.
But look,
You can have the best plan in the world, but if nobody follows it, what's the point? That's where governance becomes so important. This playbook is backed up by strict rules, from making sure everyone sticks to their shifts to having a clear path for escalating problems when they pop up. It's not a set-it-and-forget-it plan. It's a living system that gets reviewed all the time to make sure it stays sharp.
So, what's the big takeaway here? The X-bucket strategy is a powerful template for prioritizing and then executing. It teaches us to find our most critical task, hit it with a focused sprint, and then shift to a steady pace for everything else. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What's the X-bucket in your own work or even in your daily routine? And how could a two-phase plan like this one help you master it?